Well, what are we doing today?
We're going to do a Q&A today.
With AJ! Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Then the intro music. Three, two, one. Hello, everybody!
Welcome back to my YouTube channel with Jan.
Yay! I think it's the other way around, girl. Are you ready to edit this?
I'm practicing. Okay.
My YouTube channel, but today AJ is going to answer the question. Yay!
Yes.
So I'm just going to ask the question. I think some of the questions might be for me.
Can I ask you as well?
Yeah, so yesterday I asked you to ask us questions on my community tab. So if you aren't subscribed already, make sure you click subscribe. And then keep an eye on the community tab because...
Look how big my leg looks.
Wow,
Ooh.
distractions.
Sorry.
Attention span. TikTok style.
Oh my god. 30 seconds.
That is going to be my job today. Keeping your attention span above 7 seconds. That's why I'm here. So I've actually got the hardest job.
I know. Don't worry, I took my medication today, so I should be on the ball.
Yay. But yeah, talking about medication. Cheers,
I
girl.
know. Extra medication.
Yes, a little bit of extra medication today.
Yum.
So yesterday I asked you to ask us questions on my community tab. So I've had a really quick look through them, but I didn't really read them all in detail because I want to be surprised by them as well. And you haven't seen them, so I reckon I'm just gonna quickly check Tinder. I don't know. So I'm just gonna read them out to you. Hang on. Now, also, this is not just like a normal-ish Q&A. Like, we are hoping to make this more like podcast style. I mean, I don't know. Is it podcast style?
No, I guess
it will be podcast style. So
we're sitting and chatting.
yeah, visually, there's not gonna.
There's 2 camera angles.
Visually, there's not all too much happening, so it's definitely one of these episodes that you can just put on and do something.
Yeah,
go water your plants, go repot your plants. You really just need to listen to it. The visuals aren't all too important, but we'll leave a timestamp for every question.
Visuals are so important. I mean, I'm wearing my nicest.
The nicest. I know. I have noticed you put in all the effort today. I
didn't wear my red, bright, blinding one. I wore one that I thought would blend in with your couch.
We have 44 questions. That's heaps. The other day
44 questions.
44 questions. The other day I answered 73 questions. And then I was like, oh, that was such a missed opportunity. Volk should have been here. Then we go with the most liked one. First one, 7 likes from Kelly. Thank you. I don't have a question. Okay, good start.
Love you, Kelly.
I just wanted to thank the 2 of you for sharing your beautiful friendship with us. Aww. It's such a wonderful thing to watch and enjoy. We live in a harsh world, and getting to watch the 2 of you interact is a blessing to all of us.
On that note, I had the shittiest day.
You did.
That was crap. Try
yeah. Okay.
The shittiest day, and I really didn't want to come and do this, but coming and do this was like the best thing I could have done.
Yes,
because we just are so amazing together.
Yeah. No, but in general, when you have a shitty day, it's always nice to be around people that just make you smile.
Makes
honestly,
a world of difference. It's sometimes hard to admit you got to go and get a mood and got to get out the house, but once you do, all of that stuff is very little. All the bad
puts
stuff.
things in perspective, but you're like, oh my god, I can't believe this morning I was so stressed about this. Right, next one, Erica. Excited to hear your origin story as friends. But now that you are both influencers / plant gurus, look at us. To whom would you credit as your own inspiration and guides in the beginning of your plant journey? All right, for both of us. Do you want to start?
I just want to thank myself. No.
I would like to thank myself.
First thing I pictured was Snoop Dogg. I just want to thank myself.
Origin story of our friendship. Let's start with that. I don't even know if I remember. I'm pretty sure
I'm gonna have a carrot.
you were already a plant store. I know you as Growing Grounds, not as AJ. I know you as Growing Grounds first.
Yeah.
You were already a plant store, and you always did the... You can eat. This is a mukbang. And you were doing the Instagram live sales. No. That was before the Instagram live sales. You were doing the pop-ups every Saturday in Newtown.
I did both.
At the same time?
At the same time.
Yeah, but I don't know which one I found you under.
So, it started, so without going through my whole freaking life story, COVID, live sales, it calmed down, Newtown.
But I knew you before COVID, for sure.
But I didn't do Newtown before COVID. I was in Glebe.
Yeah, no, maybe I don't know you before COVID. I was very early days in my plant journey, and I was very much in the accumulation phase, you know, where you don't have any plants yet, and the ones you got last week haven't grown heaps yet. So you need more. You need to meet that like short-term gratification.
You had just gotten like your glorious varicosum, like literally like fresh.
Yes, and
you first came to me, and I think your first plant from me, we'll have to find the photo, was, I think it's now called Lindinia.
Yes.
Yeah, what's it called again? They changed the name like three freaking times.
It keeps being Lindeniae, but they changed the genus. So it used to be Caladium, then it was Phytophiliviliva, and now it's Geopercha maybe?
Oh god, I have no clue.
But I definitely have that photo, and actually, yes, I'm wearing a face mask in that photo, I'm pretty sure.
A plant one.
Yeah, I think so.
I remember.
That was the first time.
The first time we met. You ordered on the live. Did you order on the live, or you just came in?
I think I just came in, and I remember you said like, oh, it opens at 10 or whatever. So I was there like really, I was like first in line. I was like so super keen. And then you were late, and just a little bit. And
typical
but
AJ.
You walked up there with Stevie being a little puppy.
Oh my god, yes!
And that's when I lost it. I was like, I need to make friends with this woman because I need to see this dog more frequently.
And she was a nutcase.
Yeah.
She was chewing things, pulling things over. I thought, I really had high hopes for her being one of those like chill dogs.
No.
They would sit and, oh my god, no. I have a bull terrier, by the way. Bull terrier and sausage, and she's the bull terrier. And she's nuts.
Let me find this photo.
Oh my god, I love her though, but she's crazy.
30th of January 2021. So we just celebrated 3 years. Look how bad my skin was back then.
Your forehead looks really big there.
Thanks.
Sorry. I'm just being honest.
Oh, here, this one. It was not, there's a different, separate. Yeah, this is the one. So 25th of July 2020.
2020.
So almost 4 years now.
Oh, that makes more sense. Yeah, for sure. But then what did you buy then? Remember we sat down and we spoke, and it was the day I got my pure Forgetti Eye?
Yes,
Stevie wasn't there that day though.
No, that was a different day because I ordered something online from Aeroid Sale, I think. And she just said, oh, do you want to pick it up from AJ's? I go there anyway to drop off something for AJ. And that's when I actually I went there and we actually sat down and we spoke a little bit longer because we were both waiting for the lady to drop off the plants. And that's when that other one was fairly transactional, I think, that first day. I was literally just there, buy a plant, out of there. But it wasn't a Lindeniae after all. I don't remember. It doesn't say on there. Anyway, so basically I was just AJ's customer. I didn't have I don't think I had like much of an audience back then as well.
You had I don't know when I first met you, but around that time, we then decided to do a giveaway together, and you were at 30,000.
No, I think I was 25 and you were 10 or something like that. 10, yeah. But that was already
roles have changed.
That was already a year later.
You're like flying up here compared to me. But I mean, also I've been
social media is my business, where you're actually running a business and you're just using social media as a marketing channel. So, you know, give yourself some credit for a small business. You're still doing really well to, on top of that, be an influencer, as the comment said.
My engagement's like, it can be really, really good sometimes because we have such a cool little community.
Yeah.
That's just always tuned in, which is fantastic. So
yeah, I love
you guys.
Erica as well, the person that asked this question. I see her comment all the time. So I know all of my people by usernames for sure.
Well, you were saying YouTube's a really good community. I'm excited
so much for nicer. You need to. Yeah, I think a lot of people. They're already there, you're just not there.
I know they are.
And then the second part of Erica's question was, who would you credit as your inspiration and or guides at the beginning of your journey?
I don't know if there was like a specific one person that was my inspiration. Actually, give me one sec.
Well, while you search down, mine was definitely Craig Miller-Randall, right?
I mean, his Instagram is epic.
Instagram, right? And that is what really got me excited, where I was like, oh my god, so you can actually grow plants and it doesn't just look like this weird, like
a weird totem from Bunnings, or like
messy. You know what I mean? He took plants, but they looked classy and well decorated, and like it's just this whole concept of plants being artworks that just got really fascinating for me. And I really liked his design aesthetic, and that's 100% what got me into it. I mean, he gave a little bit of care tips-ish as well. Like, you know, he gave a little bit of information as well. So he definitely helped me establish my plant hobby.
I get that.
But then afterwards, like, you helped me a lot with just actually just getting access to plants and just knowing what's out and about and how to grow it. And
I only had such a tiny little footprint when it came to like contacting growers and stuff. Like I hadn't even delved into the world of like buying things from other growers in other states and stuff.
But it was a different time. There was way less plants available. So you didn't have to dig that far, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like it was just... Yeah.
As for me, James Ippy. Is that how you pronounce his Ippy? IP?
I don't know.
James IP. James IPY. Balcony Jungle.
Ippy, yeah.
I followed him from day one, and I love his stuff. Beautiful balconies, very similar to Dawul Chang.
Yeah.
Houseplant Journal, so those two.
Yeah, nice.
And so when I first got into it, I followed them because I used to love watching because I wanted to know more about how plants specifically grew.
Yeah.
And like what we could get to grow here in Australia. And those two guys, I mean, they're in Asia. It's pretty kind of close to Australia.
Dale lives in Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it just shows that when we're growing indoors, it doesn't actually matter if you're in Canada, Asia, or Australia. It's just at that time the availability.
I swear he was. But he has a balcony. Oh, I'm thinking of someone else.
I know who you're thinking about.
I'm thinking of someone else.
I could not ever tell you that name though right now.
Oh, I'm thinking of someone else who I followed, but I can't find it now. Anyway.
If you remember in hindsight, let me know and I'll put it on screen.
I think you know who I'm talking about. But anyway, there was a couple of people that were growing in small spaces, and that was before I even moved back from Australia. That was when I was in the UK, so because we had no room.
That's going to come up, that question.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So don't take away too much.
All right.
All right, I think that's good enough.
Thanks, Erica.
What are your wish list plans? Greetings from Vienna. Do you have anything? I just answered it in the Q&A.
First of all, I love Vienna.
I've never been.
I have been.
I've never been
beautiful.
to Vienna.
I went to the Rose Gardens. This was a long time ago. Wish list plant. Variegated billet, not on a pole, in a hanging basket. Very particular.
And you want a narrow veitchii.
Narrow veitchii, variegated dragon, philodendron dragon head. I got a really nice variegated Syngonium chiampanese, and a variegated gloriosum.
I literally have nothing on my wish list. Like nothing.
I just like the variegated ones. I just love growing them. Oh my god, this is so Moorish.
Talking about variegated, how's your variegated Milano going? Mine's schwerwerding. It had like one really variegated leaf that literally just came out like this.
I just bought another one. My original ones are doing good. It's just that I left them outside for too long. They got a bit too dry because they were really little.
Yeah.
So I took them off the pole, even though they were doing okay.
Yeah.
Just to bring them inside and just like get them a little bit bigger first, put them back on. But they put out a new leaf that was a bit screwed up, and it was nice.
Nice.
So it's still got good variegation.
Okay. Yeah, I grow mine on the grow vertical, so said if it has 3 more leaves without variegation, I'll just chop in between all the nodes and then...
Yeah, totally.
I love watching the video of when you're doing your plant markets. I wish we had something like that here in Canada. In the spring, we have garden centers pop up all over the place with outdoor plants and veggies, but I would love to go to a market that has all of the house plants.
Come to Australia.
I suppose we're referring to the Collectors Plant Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. I was actually really surprised at how many comments we got. I mean, it's not our fair, we're just partaking. Right?
Yeah.
I was really surprised at how many comments I got around, wow, there's so many plants, so much variety, because I assumed that in Australia, yeah, we might be lucky with climate. Well, in Australia, Sydney, like it's a big place, Australia. We might be lucky with climate, but we're very unlucky with the inability to import plants, right?
Well, that's changing a lot at the moment. But, like from currently past tense, 100%.
Plus as a average Joe, you know what I mean? It's like when I see people online, especially in the YouTube community, there's
as just
like
a retailer, just a customer.
Yeah,
100%.
I feel like every day on YouTube there's somebody unboxing like a ginormous order of rare plants that they ordered from
Thailand.
You know what I mean? That one.
Equigenera.
That's what I said.
I think.
But you know what I mean?
I think it's Equigenera.
Equigenera or something.
Equigenera, yeah.
Whatever, it doesn't really matter. We know what we're talking about. I just always feel like, holy moly, like you just got the whole jungle in like one order. And over here you would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for these plants, which I'm obviously never willing to do. That's why also none of these plants are on my wish list, because to me that just kills the vibe. But yeah, I actually thought, well, you know, we actually have a fairly narrow pool of plants available, but I think that made us as a community really resourceful, really good at propagating, really good at passing on. But obviously I'm sure there's also some dodgy shit happening in the background.
There's always dodgy shit going on in the background. Like, I know so many people who make dodgy shit, but you know what? It's not my problem.
Exactly, that's okay. I mean, as long as we're keeping clean and we're doing the right thing.
You do the right thing to the best of your abilities. Like, if you purchase a plant off someone, you're not sure where it comes from, whatever. But it is tough. To watch other countries just have the most amazing stock. You would have seen recently I posted from Kaylee Ellen's, her variegated gloriosum.
I saw that. That looked so good.
Insanely nice.
That looked really,
And I remember for a long time I'd see videos from her and other people saying how difficult it is to grow, or was past tense, but not anymore. Gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks really, really nice.
Absolutely gorgeous.
I've
seen a few here, thousands. Like, I'm talking,
to admit,
just insanely amount of money.
I like the scarcity that we have over here because it makes me appreciate the plants that we do have. I would get decision fatigue if I have access to all of the plants in the world and I could just order all of the plants at all times. I would just don't want to have any of them anymore because I couldn't decide. It's the opportunity cost for me.
People already struggle with buying too many plants.
Exactly.
Could you imagine if we had all of them?
Even more. That's what I mean. I actually
God.
like that. It's almost like, you know, being vegan, when I go to a restaurant, I usually have one option. Sometimes two choices, you know what I mean? But usually it's an option. It's not even a choice anymore. Like, it's just, for main course, let's say. Like, of course, the sides are usually vegan. But I like it because I go to the restaurant and she's like, I'll just have the vegan option, you know. I don't even know what it is, just bring it out. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? You don't even need to tell me what it is. Surprise me. But I feel like I don't have to make a decision. It's so easy. It's so nice. And it almost like, obviously not to that extent, but it's almost like that with plants in Australia. I feel like we don't have that many available in the first place. That's why it's kind of nice. It makes me appreciate the plants that we do have. Because sometimes it's not you don't need to have another one and another one and another one. I just took the ones that we have and I was like, let me grow these as nicely as possible.
Yeah, there's just so many things that are so similar as well. Like, even recently seeing plants coming in or doing orders for customers. Last week someone ordered the Philodendron Autumn Queen and a Philodendron Painted Lady. And I mean, they've been around for ages, don't get me wrong. But I'm like, they're so similar. But they have the differences. But then this new one that's coming out, Epiprednum giganteum variegata.
There were so many in your greenhouse where I was like, choose one out of those three. You don't need all three. You know what I mean?
And they look so identical.
Yeah, similar. I mean, probably also a product of tissue culture where eventually everything just turns out brown. You know what I mean? Like,
it's all that it turns out brown. It's just that there's just so many variants. Like, they can TC the same plant, God knows how many times, so they get so many variants and they can call it whatever they want. And I think that's what's happening a lot of. But anywho, what was the question again?
There was no question. I was just commenting on the fact that I was surprised that there's so many people that were surprised at how many plants we have, because I would have thought that'd be a disadvantage in Australia. I know that.
I think it's also just the fact that it's such a fun event. Like, it is. I mean, it's exhausting.
I would also say it's my editing that made it look especially good.
Oh yeah, to be honest with you, I don't even really remember what it's like anymore. It's so chaotic.
It's really
and I never
chaotic.
get to leave. I'm just standing there the entire time. There. So
you actually only, like, I actually had a stall holder comment being like, thanks for filming it, because I didn't even know what the fair looked like. I was so busy.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
welcome.
like all of us.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a little internal burn.
God, that was not internal. If I can hear it. Okay, another very similar question. We kind of answered the first half. How did your friendship start? Since when? And did you like the other the first time you saw her? So when we saw each other on first time, like, did we like each other?
The first time I met you, I was working, obviously.
Yeah.
It was a bit busy. I just remember you were just like so like, you were so excited and I loved it straight away. I was like, oh.
And I was just like, let's make friends with this woman. She sits right at the source. Very pragmatic of me. Yeah. I'm like, friendship.
And there's so many times that I was like with friends and stuff on their Instagrams, let's do a giveaway, let's do this. No one ever wanted to do anything like that with me or collaborate with me. But as soon as I said it to you, you're like, yes, let's do it.
Yeah, why not?
Oh my God, this is so fun.
I love when other people show initiative. I think this is the one thing that I'm suffering through now. I'm not suffering, but I think this is the one thing that throughout my whole life, I always feel like I'm the initiating person.
Yeah.
I have a lot of energy, I have a lot of enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I like to initiate things.
Yeah.
So I really love when somebody else approaches me with something and be like, hey, do you want to do that? I'll be like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I just don't want to be the one that constantly comes up with things. So I really appreciated that.
You're welcome.
What activities outside of plants do you guys get to do together? I think you two should do a road trip. What a blast that would be.
I have said this to him, but the problem is, yeah, cool, road trip. He gets to do fucking nothing.
I don't
have to do all the driving.
I don't drive.
What kind of road trip is that?
I am very good at being passenger princess, though. Very good. I know all the road rules. I look at all the other cars around us.
Are you going to feed me snacks while I drive? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
And I can also be the DJ.
Oh, God.
Okay, so what activities have we done together? We actually do Christmas together. I think we've done Christmas together the last 3 years.
3 years, 3 Christmases together.
We do Christmases together. We're
both orphans.
Yeah, we do
me choice. I'm a choice orphan. And
technically
you're a choice orphan too. But
I'm more choice than you, to be honest.
Yeah, but you went really far away. You went to another country.
Yeah, not just another country, like a different continent, a different hemisphere.
Yeah, this is the opposite side of the world. Yeah, so we do
all the
orphan
traditional
Christmas.
family events, I think, you know, like the Christmases.
We do Easter once together. I don't know, did
probably. What else?
Birthdays when we feel like it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
yeah, no, this year I had a shit day on your birthday. Sorry. I was like, AJ, I was like, AJ, I'm not having a good day today. I know it's your birthday, but can we postpone it? I put it.
Yeah, so my new birthday is
1st of November.
Yeah,
because her birthday is 1st of May and shit just hit the fan on 1st of May and it was really rainy and dark and I was just like, AJ, this is just inappropriate behaviour.
From the weather? From
you, like having your birthday on the 1st of May.
Oh, it's my fault.
What were you thinking?
Sorry, I came out of my mum's vajayjay on the 1st of May.
Yeah, we decided that this year your birthday is going to be postponed to 1st November. So
yes, I've already booked.
We'll have more fun.
I've already booked an Airbnb.
Nice. Yes.
I just have.
But that's what we do. We don't do all too much non-planty stuff, to be honest.
Well, even if we do non-planty stuff, there's plenty of stuff involved. Like even because technically, Jan comes to work with me. What am I doing? Picking up plants. Yeah. Like we can't get away from it. That's all I ever do. But it's work as well. So.
I mean, even during Christmas, like we're sitting in your greenhouse, and so still always plants involved. I suppose both of our lives are heavily planty.
Yeah, but we can be around it and not have to focus on it completely.
Exactly.
Which is good.
Yeah, for sure.
It's never bothered me.
And we are actually on the phone a lot as well. Like we talk a lot on the phone about God in the world. When we are on the phone, we actually often talk about, we talk about plants, but I think we talk more about business than we talk about plants. Our businesses just both are planty.
And I just bounce ridiculous ideas off you and you're always telling me to
smash them.
Calm
oh my
down.
God.
Calm down, AJ.
You are... There's this theory, and I don't know the third person, but technically you need three... there's 3 people. Like, I think Walt Disney kind of is known for that method.
Oh, you told me
There's the dreamer, the realist... the dreamer, the pessimist, and the realist.
Yes.
You're the dreamer. You always come up with these crazy ideas. I'm always the pessimist. I'm like, AJ, absolutely not. And then I think the realist. I think then we kind of combine our ideas to kind of be like, realistically, maybe this could work.
Yeah. And it can only work if we both do it.
We're going through these fast, AJ. We're acing it.
We're good.
What is your biggest challenge so that's for you. AJ, what is your biggest challenge as a grower? Light, temperature, space, changing plant popularity. What makes you most frustrated? Thanks.
All of it. Every single bit of a...
I think light
Honestly,
you have
okay.
the least issues with. You don't have that many issues with light.
Oh, yeah. But let me break it down. 4 seasons. Spring, summer, temperature, light. In a positive way, but can also be too positive. And I have to
light.
figure out how I can dull it down a bit. Then we hit autumn, winter. Again, light temperature, but in the opposite way. Not enough of it. The whole greenhouse gets shaded in winter, which is the worst time.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
You want the opposite, because in winter you can actually have the full sun, and in summer you want to avoid the full sun.
That's it. So then I have to supplement with extra light when the greenhouse is closed. When I open, obviously I can't have those lights out. I supplement if it's been like a rainy week like this. If it's overcast, if it's not overcast, if it's sunny, I don't have to supplement with anything. And then I just gradual heat and cool in the mornings and evenings. So every part of the year, there's something different to deal with.
Yeah.
And then it's forever changing. So we were talking about this.
But hang on, just those would be challenges that you're facing if you're a plant business or if you're a passionate grower yourself.
Yes, regardless of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But then when it comes
the
to
other options
plant
were
popularity,
space and changing plant popularity.
Space, we already know I'm bloody running out of that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work on getting a second greenhouse. Sproutwell, if you want to just pop me a message. Anyway, but yeah, so space is definitely something that has now become a challenge. Things have overflowed into my house. In other parts of the yard, it's just become
You had to get rid of a lot of your private collection.
Got a lot of my personal stuff.
Just space, because they were getting so big, right?
They're getting big, and so many plants. And this brings you to the popularity part. So many plants are coming through TC now. So there's a lot of plants I had that I was propagating because I couldn't get it. Now it's available.
Yeah. And
So there was absolutely no point keeping it, even though I loved them. I was like this weekend I moved on that beautiful giant silver lady scindapsus that I had.
Nice.
Beautiful. It was a stunning plant on the pole. And I sold it because now I can get them. My growers have hundreds of them. So what's the point of me taking up space when I can just get them wholesale? And especially too, I'm at a point with my business where I'm not a big guy yet. I don't have, it's not huge.
Maybe people aren't 100% aware of the business model, right?
Yeah, it's
because you don't grow all of your stock from scratch, but
Well, at least I would grow 25% of it.
yes, which is perfectly fine. I mean, that's what most retailers do. You don't fabricate all of your things. I don't know why a plant business would be held to a different standard.
That's it.
Because realistically, the problem with plants is that they grow so slowly. Because, I mean, people have asked me many times why I don't have a plant store. And I was just like, well, let me break it down for you.
Or if you have the right place so fast. So both ways kind of bites you in the bum.
Yeah, but I mean, with some of these plants, until you propagated them, grew them out so you can actually pass them on, they might have come out of tissue culture where you can now buy them for much cheaper. And where are you keeping all of these plants? Well, they might take 3, 4, 5 months to actually be passed on. So you need to make sure that you have high turnaround, right?
Yeah.
Because you need to have cash flow.
Yeah.
You need these plants you need your greenhouse to be
that's the
filled,
whole
and
point.
ideally every week it's getting emptied out and you're refilling it. But you're really lucky because I think you're pretty lucky, or I don't know, maybe other people do that too, but I think the relationship you have with your wholesaler, where he actually has a little section in his greenhouse that is your stuff, that is really good. You know, because you don't need to hold on to it. I mean, you pay him for that, right?
Yeah, it's not even really a section, sorry. It's really nice. Obviously not a lot of wholesalers do this because they want to churn things in and out. They don't want to actually grow stuff. So I'm super duper lucky. I have one grower here in Sydney that they're really old school. They've been around for a really, really long time, and they like the idea of propagating and growing themselves. And they've come up with an amazing system where they can churn out propagation just as fast as TC, tube stock, which is incredible because you wouldn't think it's possible, but they do. There's a specific lady who she will be there every day picking. She knows her sections and she'll pick things from those sections every single day, every single week, and cut and just turn them over. And so they'll always have 3 kind of stages. They have the cutting stage from the main plant that's then being cut then regrown, and then the plant that's ready for sale. And so they'll just constantly churn those over. It's amazing how quickly they can do it, honestly.
But it comes to show that even with plants, there is still a supply chain behind it as well.
Yeah,
right?
it's just
you're
whatever
the last
works
person that people see and the ones that interact with, but you're a grower But first and foremost, you're a
Also,
plant business.
just to add, just because I don't grow all of my plants doesn't mean I'm inhuman. I cop so much flack for that, and
No, but that's precisely what I'm trying to say. It's like going to David Jones, going to the lady at the cash register and being like, yeah, but you didn't sew that dress. It's like, bro, we stocked the dress. You know what I mean? That's the purpose what we're here for.
Where do you think that dress originally came from?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think that's what I mean. Like, I think sometimes small businesses are held to a different standard because they're like, well, you're a small business. You need to do everything yourself. And it's like, no, you don't need to do everything yourself.
No.
You need to find suppliers that you can trust and create a supply chain.
That's the only way I've been able to be around, and I've not dropped off like some of the others. And it's not because I don't have different morals to other people that are within the industry. It's because I want to have a plant business.
But it doesn't
And you have to change with the times. Like you can't always do the same thing. Like I see people in, New South Wales, Melbourne, Adelaide. I see people all over with these plant businesses that stick to this single plan that works for them at the time that they make it, but it just like crumbles over time because they don't adapt.
Yeah, I mean, the comment acknowledged it, the changing plant popularity. If the plant popularity changes so quickly, but the plant takes a year to actually grow out, like by the time you've grown it out and you can pass it on, it might no longer be popular, or the market could be absolutely flooded.
Yeah.
You are ultimately competing with big stores like Bunnings and so on, like Flower Powers and so on, that can turn these things around really quickly. So if you want to stay in business, like you can't actually grow all of your own stock, right?
No, and that's it.
And that's just business. That is literally just pure business. If you would grow all of I would call you on a daily basis and give you so much shit for it, because I'd be like, AJ, this is not a viable business model. Like, do you want to survive, or do you want to be like the ethical queen of Instagram? Like, you know what I mean?
Let's be honest. Having a plant nursery, an online plant nursery, as a single person, technically the idea of it isn't really a viable business in the first place. But because I've been so flexible and I've adapted with how things have changed, it's kept it going, and I'm so thankful. And as soon as I acknowledge, because I'm the only one putting a roof over my head right now, and I can't really rely on anyone else. I acknowledge that when something's not working, I have to change it, and I have to change it fast. And although like my heart and soul is in my business, I also have to understand that it's a business.
But even the Bunningses of the world that actually technically have the reason, they don't grow any of their plants themselves. They're also just getting them, you know what I mean?
But but then Flower Power do the same. They get in from wholesales, but they do, however, have greenhouses where they grow their own stock as well. But that's smart, because they're realizing that at some point, for them to step up in the plant world, they then need to grow their own stock.
They have much more resources available.
Exactly.
If you get a second and third greenhouse, you'll also start doing more of your own, right? And you have a lot of seedlings coming and so on.
Yeah.
But you need to be flexible. You need to diversify your risk.
100%. So, and I think that's probably the most scariest but most accomplished thing that I've done, is not just been stuck in the same position and ignored all of the warning signs for change, and I actually went with it. But I've just seen people, honestly, in the businesses around me just dropping like flies, and it's sad. I hate it, because it scares me, because I'm like, well, if they're not working, then
it's survival. Sorry for interrupting. I love business.
Survival
I love
of the
this sort of.
fittest,
No, it's not survival of the fittest. It's survival of the most adaptive.
Yes.
The one that gets to adapt to changing market situations. So when suddenly all of these plants were available at the big box stores, you had to change, because
100%.
Suddenly these rare plants can be found very commonly in bulk, very cheaply in big.
And we didn't even have access to anything like that.
Didn't even. They got the stock exclusively. So you might be growing up, like you might have bought an elbow for like $1,500. You cut it up and you're wanting to sell on these cuttings for like $500, and suddenly they're for $100 at Bunnings as a full-grown plant, right?
Yeah.
So that's instant death for the business if you are 100% relying on that one drop of plants surviving, and that's exactly what happened.
It worked during COVID, but it doesn't mean it's going to work forever.
But also, you are a retail business. You are not a plant grower. Like, your business offering is...
No, I'm a plant grower.
You are also a plant grower, but your main business offering is actually having a retail location where people can go and buy, and or having a website where people can go and get it shipped,
And that's also the same with anyone that sells anything.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's it. You don't need to make all of this yourself. Anyway, we talked about this a lot.
But it is something that I'm really passionate about, is that I have learnt to adapt very quickly to the ever-changing wave of the plant world. And I'm proud of me for doing it, because a lot of people just would call me out, and I mean, there's always haters within the industry, and I would get called out for doing things differently to other people and not being true to one type of plant, or, you know, selling things too cheap. No, this is how business is done.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stick to it. Yeah. And I'm really glad I didn't give in and listen to all the people that were trying to tell me otherwise, just to make sure I didn't.
It's always going to be haters. Always. They make you famous, like David Guetta said. So, next one, because I know we can talk about this one for days. What was your first plant, and do you still have it? I also answered that question in my latest Q&A, so this is all yours.
So when I moved back from the UK, I was so sad. I was sad, AJ.
Aww.
And my nan, I think I'd moved back, and my nan had gifted me, I think it was for Christmas, she'd gifted me a voucher for Flower Power, because she saw how into plants I was when I was in the UK before I came back. And so I went to Flower Power, and I just went and bought myself a huge ruby ficus.
Oh, actually, I want a ficus actually now.
So I had that ficus for probably 3 years, and it got so big it couldn't fit in a normal house anymore.
Aww.
And I ended up selling it to a couple in Bondi, and it was 2 meters tall. This thing was huge, and they took it up into their top level terrace, and oh my god, it looked beautiful, and I hope it's still there today. But yeah, and already before I even started the business, I bought it for $100. I sold it for $250.
Business. We love it.
And then
you're like, oh, I'm good at this.
Yeah. And like, I mean, I already had cool plants before, but when I moved back to Australia, I wanted to get plants, but I was in a bit of the blue stage when you
just
feel
for reference. When was that? When did you move to?
So I came back end of 2018.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then I went straight to IKEA because I had to get furniture. So I had nothing, and I went and rescued like 20 succulents from.
Cute.
I was just so sad, and I was like, oh, we can be sad all together.
Huge.
And then it just snowballed from there. I'm pretty sure I got an elbow cutting like literally a week later off eBay. Like just so much stuff. And then I fully took over, because I was living with my mum at the time. I fully took over her patio area because they didn't have any grass, and I just turned it into a huge ass greenhouse within like a month. I had so much stuff. And it's so funny too. I was actually looking at really old reels on my Instagram, and even just the way I talked and my mannerisms was just so different, and it was so cringy. But I'm like, hey guys, so Devil's Ivy's going up. Oh no, Tetrasperma is going, because it was so rare back then.
Yeah.
Putting Tetrasperma up was like $60.
When I saw Tetrasperma at Flower Power, I almost cried. Yeah, I was so happy.
Well, I was going to Flower Power so often. I'm the manager there, Paris, if you're watching. She's still working with them, but at a different place. It was at Tarrant Point. And she would always, whenever there was something cool, she'd put it aside for me and hide it in the back corner. Nice. And I'd run over and find all this cool stuff, and then propagate it and sell little bits on eBay. And yeah, that's
nice.
When I properly started getting into it. So
nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Next question. We're so good at this.
It's fun talking about this old stuff.
Me too. I think it too.
I don't feel like it's that long ago, but
6 years is a long time.
Yeah, it goes fast. It goes really fast.
Love your symbiotic relationship. I feel as though you've contributed to each other's growth along with the two Timmies. Full stop.
Two Timmies?
My Timmy and your Timmy, or like Grow Vertical Timmy and my Timmy.
Oh yeah, Tim and Tam. Tim and
Robin, that was from Robin. Robin also comments all the time.
Robin, yes.
We love Robin.
Hi, Robin.
Yes, I think we...
I think so.
We spoke about this yesterday as well, so sorry if there's double ups between the videos, because the camera's always rolling when we're together.
We just talk about everything.
But we said that yesterday, we kind of like the polar opposite of each other, like not polar opposite, but we're very opposite people.
Yeah.
Very different.
But yet we're very passionate about the same thing.
The same thing. So we are looking at the same issue with two completely different points of view, which is nice to have this person to... I'm not like... I always give you feedback, and I know that you don't always take it on board because it's very. But I do it on purpose. You know what I mean?
Remember I called you and I'm like, I started a second business. Here's the name. I like it. I don't care what you think.
Yeah, dude, she said, I have something to tell you. I don't need your opinion on it. It's happening. And I was like, are you sure it's happening? And then I proceeded to convince you otherwise for the next 30 minutes. But I'm not being so...
It's not about being mean or
I'm not
rude
trying
or
to convince you to change it to... Because I actually don't like it.
Because he knows I already have so much on my fucking plate.
No, I'm trying to convince... If I can grill you for 30 minutes about it, and you come out of that grilling session and still convinced that you should go ahead with it, then you should actually go ahead with it.
Well, I already decided I'm going to change the name.
I
really liked it. I really like the idea of it.
But sometimes you need somebody to actually point it out.
I'm going with the name I told you yesterday, by the way. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, go for it.
I checked online. Someone's got it, but I can tweak it a bit. I've tweaked it and it looks really good.
Nice.
I'm really compassionate in the sense that if he has a bad day and he wants to quit anything at any time, I'm always like, it's okay, you'll be fine, you'll get through it, I'll come help you. It's not fine. And then when I'm like, I want to start a circus. Jan's like, I think you need to think about this a little bit more.
Let me ask you a few follow-up questions.
That's so funny though.
Yeah, but because I know
I want to start a circus.
I know what thought process you had to come up with this.
Not much.
Precisely. So I'm asking the hard-hitting questions. I'm asking the logical questions, the rational questions. Like, tell me more about your SWOT analysis, you know? And you're like, the what?
The what? The swans?
So it's good.
In the circus.
Go the swans.
It's good though. You've got to have someone in your life that is not, I wouldn't say the polar opposite, but is someone that has a different character to you, because
challenges your thought process.
Yeah, you've got to have that person in your life, otherwise you end up joining a circus and it's not
honestly,
a good thing.
otherwise it is.
Sorry, circus people. No.
Have I actually worked in the circus before?
No, well,
she has done everything in her life though.
See?
Two questions actually. Two-part fart? How do you call it?
What?
I think it's two-part fart. Or two-part part. When you have like a question but they come in two parts, you say two-part fart.
I
think
no
so.
idea.
Really? Anyway, let's call it just two questions.
Okay.
Number one, what's one thing you dislike would change about the plant community overall? Oh my god, no, this is not a good question. And the second question is, what is one thing you like about the plant community? Oh, I like the order of things so we end up on a positive note. So, let's start with the first one. But let's keep it short because I know
I won't eat.
the thing is also you have to keep in mind the two of us are very heavily involved in the plant community, let's say. No, eat away, it's a mukbang. We are both very heavily involved, so I think we might be a little bit, like we're too emotionally
It can go a bit
involved.
frustrating.
Because also our livelihoods depend on this by now, you know what I mean? So 100% what I'm gonna say is because of what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Because what drives me a little bit insane is when people give either really, really concrete care tips, where it's just like, you're forgetting the disclaimer of like, hey, this is not gonna work if you don't adjust it to you. Or when people feel like they know so well, they need to be the one commenting, you know what I mean? Like if somebody asks a question, it's like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And then if you're not 100% sure about your answer, don't answer. You know what I mean? You might be leading somebody in the wrong direction. Because I get these comments all the time. It's like, hey, I asked people on Facebook and they said this and this and this was wrong. And I was like, don't ask the people on Facebook. You know, but it's like,
this is the issue
I mean, people have good intentions and I love it when people have good intentions, but I think at some stage people also just need to accept the fact that you can't know all of the answers to all of the questions.
No.
If I don't know an answer to a question, I shut up about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I see somebody doing something on social media that I disagree with, I don't need to leave my opinion on them being like, hi, actually, you should be blah, blah, blah. So I don't understand why people have the desire to do this. You know what I mean? You actually used to do some rants. That's how I knew you actually. I knew you from the plant rants.
The plant rants.
You used to do plant rants.
Yeah, they're all gone now.
You can't do that anymore.
You can't find
That was
them anywhere.
epic,
Don't
though.
bother searching.
But,
They're not anywhere. We took them away.
But that pisses me off because it makes... I'm trying so hard to get people to understand the principles and think about their plants and think about the way that they grow them and form a connection rather than just following like this step-by-step guide.
Yes.
And then literally you scroll and the next content in line is just like, give it exactly 60% humidity. I'm just like, oh, shut up.
The worst part.
And then you look at their plant and it's not even noise. You know what I mean? It's like if you don't
It's not noise.
It's not even noise. Like if you don't know anything about this plant or if you're not growing this plant exceptionally well, why do you feel like you need to speak up about it? You know what I mean?
I feel like people jump the gun and want a quick fix to a lot of things. And it's just, plants aren't quick.
That's a good one, actually. Just this instant gratification. And I suppose it's ironic because I do all of this on social media, which is literally like what caused all of this instant gratification craze. You know what I mean? Everybody wants everything instant and so on. And I think that's the worst part about the plant community.
Yeah,
the people that
just expect things to be fixed straight away.
ASAP, and people are like, how long does this take? And we're like, I can't tell you how long this takes. It took me maybe 3 years, but it could take you 2 years or it could take you 7 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
so like for example, your Melinda Chrysanthemum, I remember when you first got it and you put it on a poll, and I actually forgot you even had it because you weren't showing it on social media because you wanted it to size up. In the meantime, I'd taken a small cutting I got to my growers and mine was like huge compared to yours. And I was like, why is it taking so long? It's because you're growing it in ambient temps. There's nothing too uber special. The only thing that's really pumping it along is the GT.
Yeah.
And it gets there eventually.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually.
But you need to be patient.
But it's this whole thing, you're just there for the end result. Where it's like that, if you're just here for the end result, as much as I hate it, go buy the fake plant from Freedom. You know what I mean? That's really nice.
It's really good.
Yeah, go buy that fake plant. If you are not here for the journey and you don't want to look after your plant, you might get to the end result and within 2 weeks the plant bloody dies. You know what I mean? Like, you need to be okay with that. You need to enjoy the journey. You need to enjoy growing. You don't need to enjoy owning. If you enjoy owning, I have a list actually, We spoke about that yesterday, I think, as well, where people have the need to own everything. It's just like, this is not you're a little bit like, you buy way more plants than me, actually. I'm fairly conservative, I think, when it comes to buying plants.
Not so much anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah,
You've gotten much better, but you used to be like, oh, I'm on the hunt for this, and this, and this. But people have this need to own things. Whenever I film something at the Botanic Gardens, people are like, take cuttings, take this home with you, take this home. It's like, first of all, don't do that. But secondly, like, why? Like, what's the point? I can look at this plant, I can go to the Botanic Gardens, and I can look at the plant, and everybody else can also go to the Botanic Gardens and also look at the plant.
I think it's just because we're getting old. We know that we can just appreciate stuff. We don't have to have everything.
Yeah, but maybe
when
maybe
you're
we're just
younger,
getting old. Yeah, you're more possessive.
You want everything.
Yeah, you just want to own.
I want everything.
Yeah, and now I'm just like, I really just enjoy. Actually, it's almost like if there's somebody else growing a plant really nicely, and I get to see it, but I don't need to grow it, and I don't need to put any effort.
Yeah.
It's almost like win-win, you know what I mean? That's actually where I want to get with my plant collection. I want to not have to grow all of this myself.
I used to be obsessed with variegated Monstera. Like, everyone knew me because I love variegated Monstera. Do you think I've even got one of my own really anymore?
You don't actually have one, no.
Nope.
I mean, this one.
I've got cuttings from yours actually at my house growing, and they've shot and everything. I'll put them in the greenhouse soon, but they're just outside growing.
You should just do like a pole with like 4 or 5, because these are not highly variegated. They're
really pretty.
Yeah, just what I mean.
I was going to put one in the garden.
Huh?
Yeah, see how it goes.
I have one in the garden.
Yeah.
Work.
But I think it's just over having lost a lot as well. I've lost a lot. We all have. You kind of come to terms with what works really well for you, and you just stick to it.
Plus, maybe at the very beginning, when you have less plants, you feel like the accumulation stage.
You also have to figure out what works for you as well.
But I think at some stage you have so many plants and they all start growing, and you just get overwhelmed with the actual maintenance of it, where you're just like, oh my god, I don't want to have any more.
Yeah, it gets really chaotic.
But the second part was, what do you like about the plant community? Like, we met some cool people.
We met some really cool people. I feel like, even though there can be some challenges, it's been something that I've just been able to very easily feel passionate about. I don't feel like it's been hard to love it.
But that's more plants. What about the plant community?
Oh, the community.
Yes. Like, what do you like about the plant community? Yeah. I mean, it's so nice. I mean, I think, like, the Collectors Plant Fair, I had such a blast, right?
Yeah, it's where we
like,
can all come
seeing
together.
so many people,
and,
many people stopping me and you. Like, so many people wanted to chat to you as well, you know, and meet you, like,
weird.
take photos and so on.
It was fun, though.
And it's really nice to think that this cute little innocent hobby of just growing some plants can actually impact some people very positively.
Oh, I
you know
love
what I mean?
that part.
That is crazy.
Actually, I don't know how I didn't think about that. I love that part.
Yeah.
I just love, like, I get messages quite frequently, and I should really praise them a lot more. And, you know, I do hold them close to my heart, but I should let myself take it in a little bit more. And people just going, you know, I had such a bad week, and when you sent that plant, it was just, even though, you know, I bought it, you picked the perfect one. You picked the one that I would have picked. Like, I don't know. It's only little. It's a little thing, but to know that it's made someone else feel better, because I sure as hell know how it feels to not feel great. And when you treat yourself, you really want to be perfect.
I mean, to be really honest, I know because you spoke a little bit about, you know, coming back from the UK, being in a bad place, suddenly you have a lot of plants. Obviously, there's some sort of, without being your therapist now, but obviously you're compensating. Or like at that time you were compensating for something that
you need to put your love into something.
And you chose plants.
Yeah.
And it was very similar for me as well. When I really started it, I was in a bad place. Like, not bad, like, but, you know, I was not
you needed something to give you a positive,
happy and content with myself and my life as I am now. And I definitely feel like if I'm emotionally not feeling my best, I'm more inclined to actually buy plants when I feel really...
You treat yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I treat myself and I need more plants. But as I became more confident in myself and more just happy with my life, I have less of an emotional attachment to the plants. But I know how important these plants were in getting me to a state where I feel better, and like, not better, like I didn't feel bad, you know what I mean? But think it's more a thought in hindsight where I'm like, why was I so attached to these plants? And like, I literally had meltdowns when my string of hearts was like tangled up and I lost a string. I was like, why? Like, what? You know what I mean? It's like,
each plant,
why?
just like
There
pets,
was obviously,
like family.
I put so much emotional attachment to that plant where I was just like, it's almost like I just killed a family member, you know? And obviously
like,
that was compensating for something else.
I just spoke about the variegated monstera, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm really well known for, or have been in the past. I had one, and COVID hit, and I lost my job, and I'd already been working with plants, and I was like, well, it's no better time than now to chop it up, and it's going to help me survive. And it's the weirdest thing to say that out loud, but that plant, without that plant and chopping it up and selling it, I wouldn't have started the business. It pushed me to a point where I bought my van with cash.
Yeah.
I started the business with like a bit of some of the government funds that I had. That's always fun.
Yeah, we love that.
But we all had it at the time. That's all we had. And I was like, right, well, this is what I've got. I've got wheels, because at the time I had a motorbike, so that wasn't going to work. Got wheels, got the fan, here we go. Yeah. So I cried. I cried cutting that up. That plant meant so much to me. Yeah. I kept a little bit of it, but I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know what happened to it after that. But yeah, the emotional attachment thing is pretty big.
That was a good question. I really like that. Yeah, we definitely went way off topic, but I think what we said was...
As per usual.
Yeah, I mean, who's shocked at this stage? Have either of you had to bring an outdoor plant collection inside because of bad weather?
Yeah, I'm currently doing it right now.
Yeah. I don't take my whole collection inside. I just have way too... Like, my garden is so overgrown. Like, where's all of this going to go?
The collection that was inside originally went outside for spring, summer, because I ran out of room. Yep. And now it's coming back in slowly.
I have taken a few nice ones from the greenhouse, put them back inside.
How are your carnivorous doing, by the way?
Fine.
Yeah? Yeah. I've never had them during winter. I don't know if they die back or not.
I've never had them outside during winter either, but they're too big to... I don't know where to put them. I could maybe hang them but there's no light. They want a lot of light as well, so...
I can't imagine they would die back.
Honestly, as I said, I'm not so emotionally attached to them. Obviously, I don't want them to...
They look really cool, though.
Yeah, I don't want them to die, but you know, if they have a bit of a setback, I'll just enjoy the process of regrowing them in spring. Even every plant would just continuously grow. Like I'm already running out of space as it is. Sometimes
I saw your Billy came back. Your Billy's back a bit.
Different Billy.
Oh, new Billy.
Yeah, not even that new, but actually I think I had this one before. I don't know where this one came from. Maybe from yours
Heritage.
at some stage. Yeah.
But
yeah, it happens sometimes. But I don't. It's not like, oh my god, there's one day of really bad weather, let me take this inside. It will be more like I'll take it inside for the winter or like for at least 2 months or something like that. But this is the house where I have the least space indoors and the most outdoors, so I just can't really.
Yeah, you don't have. It's still high ceilings, but not as high as...
Really, I can touch the freaking ceiling on my tippy toes.
Can you really?
Yeah. At the plant collectors fair, they're like, holy moly, I didn't realize you're actually really tall. It's like, I'm not that tall, I'm like normal tall.
You're like normal height.
Normal height, like 182, 183, depends on like how much I slept.
Normal boy height. Man height.
Just started watching. I'm sure I've missed a lot, but glad to watch and enjoy the planty questions. Okay.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you. Well, you're in for a treat. AJ, what got you into plants and then into having a shop? What did that?
Depression and being broke.
How did that happen for you? I suppose we know how you got into plants.
I broke up with my boyfriend and moved back to Australia.
I think we answered this, but.
Kinda, yeah.
And then into having a shop. That was also kind of, you just started on Etsy and then...
No, eBay.
eBay, sorry.
Etsy's not too big here in Australia. It's too hard to use Etsy.
But also, like, I have not heard good things about Etsy, so...
Etsy's not very good to their actual sellers, the customer, like their people get scammed.
Etsy's very well known for...
Scams.
Wet sticks, right?
Oh, Etsy's really well known for variegated monstera seeds.
Yeah.
That's what Etsy's good for. Sorry, wow. Etsy. But yes, started on eBay and then moved from eBay to live sales, which actually I have to say,
let's go with
that was a fucking
epic
idea.
Was epic.
It was amazing.
So what AJ used to do is she would go to
wait, before you start, where I saw this, look, can I explain where it kind of originated from?
Yeah, please.
So I was bored as hell, right? I'm on Facebook. You know how sometimes like Facebook Lives pop up, random people you don't follow. For some reason, this woman would always, there's two of them. One would always pop up and she's popping out pearls from oysters and selling them on lives. Everyone's probably seen this at some point. Or there was
if my algorithm shows me an oyster, the phone leaves the fucking planet.
People would pop up in general on lives selling crystals. Going, you know, I don't know crystals. I don't know anything about crystals. I don't even know why it was on my algorithm. It was just there. People were showing crystals saying, you know, XYZ, it's this much. Comment sold. Someone would comment sold was that. And it was just like a bing moment. I was like, oh my God, I could do this with plants. I could so do this with plants. And I remember my friend Bree had just introduced me to one of my wholesalers, the one we go to quite regularly. And I went there. I'd only been going a few weeks. I went there and I said, hey, I know it's COVID.
Hello.
I'm happy to wear a mask. Would you be, because I'm just starting out, would you be okay if I'd go around and I photograph plants and then I put them on my feed saying, you know, this is how much they are, comment sold, 10 available.
Yeah.
You've got 2 hours. And I would go around and I would literally spend the day taking photos of hundreds of plants and only buying what I sold. Like 95% of the time, someone might drop out and they'll just have a few plants left over. That's fine. They can just live at my house until I sell them.
Yeah.
It worked. I think I did it for like a year.
I literally had your notifications on, like the post notifications.
Everyone.
And like it was so competitive, guys. You have no idea. There was when plants were not in big box stores yet. And it's like, it was so competitive. I remember going to Woolies and I'm like I was like, oh my God, I can't hang on.
Refresh.
I'm like,
and that was back when you had to like pull down on images to refresh them. Like, you can't do that anymore.
Oh, you can't do that anymore.
Not in the feed.
Nobody even posts photos anymore.
Not like, it was very different back then. But
that was
got
epic,
so popular that people were commenting sold so many times that I got blocked for commenting and replying to comments like weekly.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But I think that's when Molly was working with me. I think she worked with me for about a year.
Yes.
a young girl that I met, and her partner worked in wholesale, so that helped as well. So we met more people in wholesalers. So then it went from me just doing one day at one wholesaler, then another day at another wholesaler. I would go to like 3 different ones in a week and then just ship for 2 other days of the week.
Yeah, it was really cool.
We were pumping out like 50 orders a week. It was insane. We went from 0 to up here. And like,
I really like that. That was just a good idea.
Well, I had no money.
Yeah.
I had no money. I had nothing. And the beauty about going to these wholesalers were that, you had, up to 3 weeks to pay an invoice. And so it would take me about a week to get payment settled. And then once that payment hit, I would pay the invoice and I would have half left over. It was just...
Good on you.
It worked. And it got so crazy so fast. And for a while there after COVID, it did, we had a bit of a lull, but that was because I changed to a website and started being a proper business. But now we're back up there and things are going monks again.
Your Instagram was a bloody mess though. Holy
I did get rid of don't bother doing a doom scroll. You won't find anything. Like I actually got rid of all those old posts because I remember at one point I had like 4,000 posts on my Instagram. Yeah. It was insane.
It was like I remember you did a giveaway and the giveaway post on it was so far down and it was like we started it last week.
Yeah, and it was like because I'd post like 100 things in one day. It was just bonkers.
It was pretty crazy.
But yeah,
but I liked it. It definitely it made this whole, because I was on the other side and I was buying heaps through these live sales from you.
What was it? The
syngoniums, definitely heaps of stuff, definitely.
And I would always
and it's just an excuse to go back to Newtown every Saturday and pick them up. You know what I mean?
I remember I would wait right till the end, right till the last lot of posts, and I would post the coolest shit.
Yeah, and I would be scrolling like another begonia. Oh my god, another begonia. I was like, girl, when is she gonna post that syngonium? That was like the fanciest thing back in the days.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
But that was really cool. Turns out we were filming for like 4 hours.
It's past my bedtime.
It's already really dark outside. Yeah. So we have decided to turn this into 2 parts. So this is the conclusion of part 1.
Yeah.
And part 2 is coming up.
You're going to have to come back.
Whenever Jan has had the time to edit it.
She's juicy. There's some juicy stuff in the second half.
Yeah, it's going to get good. I mean, it was good from the beginning.
Girl, I mean, it's always good.
It's always juicy with us. But your mind just got really filthy towards the end, AJ.
It did bloody not, you dirty bugger.
You just said some like questionable things and my mind went straight to the gutter. If you enjoyed part 1... maybe leave a comment so I even know whether I should work on editing part 2 or not.
Oh yeah, I feel sorry for you.
Maybe.
So sorry for you.
Leave a comment down below. Should I edit part 2? Is this even worth it or was this terrible? And I want you to... Okay, what was your suggestion for our podcast name? It's not an official podcast, but we still want a name.
What was my suggestion?
Yeah, you had a suggestion. You said it yesterday.
No, because that's mine. I'm not telling anyone that because that will get stolen.
No, but you had a different one, no?
The one before.
Yeah, from before.
Green tea. Was it green tea?
Was it green tea? Do you want a green tea?
I think it was green tea.
Anyway, is that your suggestion? Are you locking it in?
I can't remember. It was a long time ago,
anyway,
guys.
My suggestion was 2 peas in a pot with a tea, and AJ thought it was too vanilla.
So vanilla.
I think it's really cute. Yeah, just leave a comment down below if you want to see part 2 and what you think a good podcast name would be. Because if we have a good podcast name, we might actually do this more regularly. Yeah. I'll hold you accountable.
We'll get mics and everything. I'm going to get it.
We have mics. We have everything.
Yeah, no, but
you also just get to make use of what you already got. And you're like, I want to buy more.
I don't have much going on in my life, okay?
Advice number 1, don't ever listen to your own advice. Anyway.
This is why I need him in my life. I swear I have so much junk. I mean, I do have so much junk.
Yes. But we need to wrap it up. We're getting the Lulu.
I need to go to bed.
The Lulu today, not the Sululu. So let's go.
Okay, love you guys.
Thank you for watching. This was fun. I enjoyed it.